राइजिंग पाकिस्तान में आज आपकी मुलाकात 3 ऐसे मेहमानों से करानी है कि जिनसे जब मैं पहली बार मिला तो मुझे तो बहुत ज़्यादा खुशी हुई, इसलिए कि इनका जो ओरिजिन है वो पाकिस्तान से है। इनके वालिद का जो इस वक्त हमारे साथ सेट्स पे मौजूद भी है, लेकिन उसके बाद अमेरिका में पैदा होने और पलने बढ़ने के बाद इन्होंने मौसीकी के एक ख़ास रुख को अपनाया जिसको आप इलेक्ट्रॉनिक म्यूज़िक कहते हैं। और उसके बाद इन दो बहनों ने, जिनका नाम जहान और यास्मीन है, बस ऐसे शौक में म्यूज़िक क्रिएट करना शुरू किया। होते 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 आज क्रूवेला जो है वो दुनिया के मशहूर तरीन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक म्यूज़िक के बैंड्स में से है। ये दोनों बहनें दुनिया में इस कदर दिलचस्प काम कर रही हैं। जब ये पाकिस्तान के दौरे पे आई तो राइजिंग पाकिस्तान ने सोचा कि क्यों ना इनको मदऊ किया जाए और इनसे बात की जाए। जाहिर है कि इनसे हम अंग्रेजी में बात करेंगे, लेकिन साथ ही साथ एक सरप्राइज गेस्ट भी है और वो है इनके वालिद, जिनका नाम है सोहेल यूसुफ, जिनका ओरिजिनल ताल्लुक लाहौर से, लेकिन वो अपनी अवाइल उम्र में 18-19 साल की उम्र में वो अमेरिका चले गए पढ़ने के लिए और फिर वहीं होके रह गए। और उसके बाद आज वो एक प्राउड फादर की हैसियत से जब पाकिस्तान आए हैं और यास्मीन और जहान जिन्होंने इस्लामाबाद और लाहौर में परफॉर्म किया और पाकिस्तानी फैंस के साथ इंटरेक्ट किया, यहाँ की सैर की, तो सोहेल साहब भी उनके साथ थे। हमने इन तीनों को आज राइजिंग पाकिस्तान में मदऊ किया है। गुफ्तगू कभी इंग्लिश में चली जाएगी, कभी उर्दू में आ जाएगी, कभी इंग्लिश कभी उर्दू। आइए आपको फीचर करवाते हैं, मुलाकात करवाते हैं जहान से, यास्मीन से और सोहेल से। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
You both look so beautiful. It's your jewelry and your wardrobe. It's great.
Shukriya.
Welcome to Rising Pakistan.
Shukriya.
Thank you
it's a
so
pleasure to be here.
Great. So I have to talk to you about many things. I don't know where to start from. How has been Pakistan for you?
Oh, a dream still. It's been incredible. We feel very, very well taken care of here. The hospitality is supreme.
The best.
In all of our travels throughout the world, this is the most warmth we've ever experienced visiting a country.
Is this a bias that you have for this, a positive bias you have for this country?
Of course, we have an emotional attachment to Pakistan, but I think this is something you would hear from anyone.
Agreed.
Anyone would say this.
Krewella, of course, is mashallah, big now today in the world. But tell me about how did it all start? Who started and who followed who? You are the elder sister, you're the younger sister. So was this a natural influence that Jahan had on you? So how did it all start? Any one of you?
Well, Yasmine was actually already in a band
In
at
high
the
school.
time. We were in school, so Choti Beti.
Choti beti hai na?
Choti Beti.
Huh.
How old were you? Kitni umar?
15.
15. So I was 17 at the time. So this is going back over a decade.
15 years ago.
Yeah. We were in school. We had other jobs. You working at a grocery store, right? Or
Bookstore.
the bookstore.
Okay.
Yes, we had other side jobs. So this, with the free time that we had, we developed a hobby of making music. So it really was just it was play at first. It was just experimenting. You know, we were so in the moment when you're that age, at least for us, we're not thinking about our life path and what we're going to spend the next 10, 20 years doing. We're just enjoying the present moment. So we weren't really thinking about career at that time.
This is before TikTok and everything. So
Yeah.
we had a bit of a different experience because we're just coming from a place of hobbyist play. And even since we were young children, Abu bought me an acoustic guitar for my 10th birthday, and we had a little drum set, an electric guitar, and a karaoke set. And this was just all play for us until we got a little bit older and we started to realize we enjoyed doing it so much. And it wasn't until I turned 18 and graduated high school that we decided to take it a bit more seriously.
When was the first time that you guys performed professionally? Like you took money for your performance. When was that?
Well, professionally, but no one was there. So our first shows were very sparse. There were barely any people in the crowd, but I think that's such a rite of passage for an artist.
In Los Angeles?
In Chicago.
In Chicago, okay.
Yeah, so that's where we started. That's where we grew up. So that was in 2000, our first underground
2011.
shows. Yeah, these were local, very underground shows with shady promoters who might not be that legitimate.
Yeah, I know.
But these are all, I think this is all part of the process. I'm actually glad we had those experiences first rather than just starting right away on a huge stage with a massive crowd, because it gave us a chance to
Mess up.
mess up, see what it feels like to be on stage. How do we like expressing ourselves in front of people?
Yeah.
So it was a good place to kind of try it on at
When I
first.
see you both performing, I sometimes feel that if somebody stops you and asks you your name, you wouldn't be able to answer that. You're so legit.
It's very in the moment.
Yeah.
It's a different personality. It's a different side of you that comes out on stage, for sure.
It's a very aggressive side.
Exactly. That's totally. Yasmine and Jahan on stage is totally different than Yasmine and Jahan sitting right
Yeah.
here. All right. So now coming to Sohail Saab, how do you feel? आप मुझे बताएं आपको कैसा लग रहा है कि आपकी बेटियां इस वक्त पीटीवी के ऊपर नेशनल टेलीविजन पे फीचर हो रही हैं, दुनिया कितनी बड़ी स्टार्स बन गई, ताल्लुक आपका लाहौर से, क्या फील कर रहे हैं इस वक्त?
I think I'm feeling very grounded, connected to Pakistani Sarzameen, happy, just in the moment, very happy for them. I think what makes me proud is how grounded they are. They're great citizens of this world, and on top of that, they're good musicians.
Exactly.
yeah.
तो आपकी माशाल्लाह 3 बेटियां
जी
और मुझे ज़रा ये बताएं कि आपने क्या कभी नहीं सोचा था कि मेरी बेटी ये करे या वो करे, या आपने उनको वो फ्रीडम दी कि कुछ भी करें? आपकी तीसरी जो बेटी हैं वो भी एक आर्टिस्ट हैं, वो ग्राफिक डिज़ाइनिंग और आर्ट क्रिएट करती हैं.
Right.
So इसके बारे में बताएं कि बस खुली छूट दी हुई थी कि do whatever you want to do?
मेरे ख्याल में कह सकते हैं आप, क्योंकि इतना टाइम अब गुजर गया है कि मुझे रिकॉल करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है, पर कोई ऐसी प्री डिटरमिन्ड कंसीव्ड नोशन कोई नहीं थी कि जी ये जिस तरह पाकिस्तान में कहते हैं जी आर्मी में जाओ या डॉक्टर बनो या इंजीनियर. So I think you can say that. Do you have any memory of that?
Your father telling you or suggesting to opt for a career or not, do you have any memory of that? Or
A career in music?
No, anything in
career.
general.
Abu, you were very, I think you were hands off enough that we were exploring our own different paths and creative outlets.
We never felt forced to do anything. No.
आप लोगों ने कहाँ perform किया हुआ है? Which countries have you performed so far? I know.
Okay,
one.
ready?
Gosh.
Japan, Canada.
Germany. I mean, you could go
Belgium.
through the entire of Europe, and we've done almost every country in Europe. We've done Australia. We've done South Africa. We've done Thailand, Indonesia,
Let's go to South America now. So Brazil,
Argentina,
Argentina, Chile.
Paraguay.
Yes.
We've been all over. We've been to every continent except Antarctica.
Beautiful. How has Pakistani experience been different from the others? How do you see your Pakistani fans? Because I see people love you in Pakistan. I had no idea that, frankly, I mean, I had no idea. One, that electronic music has, the following for electronic music has grown very fast during the last, especially 10 to 15 years, especially last decade has been incredible for EDM in Pakistan. But the way people love you, I was so happy to see. So how has been your experience
Oh,
with the fans?
It's been a long time coming, because this seed was planted years ago for us to visit Pakistan and play a show here. And because it's so under-traveled and under-toured, there hasn't really been this system set up in Pakistan where a familiarity with the rest of the international artist community.
Yeah.
So it's a new path in a way, which is sad because I feel like there are so many local people here who are deprived of international talent, but also it's exciting being an artist, being still one of the first several artists to come here and to finally share this gift of music and receive the gift of the spirit of the people here, because you can people are so alive here. You can see even when we were driving Marga Hills the other day, just people dancing in the street, and you know, we were talking about the boys on their motorbikes dancing and singing with each other, and that spirit is something we don't see in the US, and that expression and the excitement and enthuse for life, and that's an artist's dream to perform for a community like that.
Yasmine, how do you see the local EDM artists in Pakistan, the music which Pakistani artists, electronic music, they are producing? What is your take on that?
It's been so interesting coming here and just even listening to the radio, because yesterday in the car, Jahan was like, Shazam this, Shazam. We wanted to know what every song was. So it's incredible to see all these underground, for us underground, but I'm sure here they're much bigger, artists coming out and making incredible music. You can feel the fusion of Pakistani influence with electronic EDM influence, and hearing that be a part of the everyday radio here, it's amazing for us to experience that firsthand.
All right, so we'll take a short break here, and when we come back, I'd like to talk to Yasmine and Jahan, and of course Sohail as well, about their experience in Rawalpindi and Lahore. So how was Pindi and how was Lahore and the food and all of that? So stay with me, we'll be right back in a while. So today, Rising Pakistan में हमारे साथ कौन है? जहान है, यास्मीन है, सोहेल साहब हैं। जहान और यास्मीन क्रूवेला बैंड से ताल्लुक़ रखती हैं, जो कि पूरी दुनिया का एक बहुत मशहूर म्यूज़िक क्रिएटिंग मशीन है। मैं कहता हूँ ये दोनों लड़कियाँ एक मशीन की तरह काम कर रही होती हैं। इनको आप स्टेज पे परफॉर्म करते भी आप देखें या इनको लाइव देखें तो एक ऐसे लगता है कि क्या कहते हैं पारा मर्करी जो है इनके अंदर भरा हुआ है, और the way they perform and mashallah the beautiful music that they create. All right, so you're very emotionally linked with Pakistan, both of you. Even before you had come to Pakistan, this is Jahan, this is not your first visit to Pakistan. So of course that's because of your father. So was there any moment when you thought of doing some fusion of Pakistani style of music, or maybe if I could ask you directly, do you listen to Pakistani music? Do you have any inclination towards that sound?
We grew up listening to everything. Our mother grew up, our mother raised us on everything from classic rock like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin. Abu had CDs of ABBA, Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan.
ABBA Gold.
Yeah.
Yes, ABBA Gold.
I think that's where a lot of our pop sensibilities came from, actually, because we loved singing over these songs and harmonizing, because they have beautiful harmonies, that music group, and I think that's what, it was like candy for us. So I think that's where our like love of melody came from. And a lot of Bollywood music also. We grew up listening or watching Bollywood movies and asking our popo to pause every 5 minutes to translate.
Translate it into.
So that seed was planted at a young age, that hearing those specific sounds and instruments. And how many years ago did we start? I'm trying to think like when it started.
I would say maybe around 2015.
Okay.
We had this feeling of wanting, we felt pulled towards wanting to infuse more elements of our Pakistani ethnic background from Abu, but also just because we loved the music and we loved growing up with it. And we slowly started infusing simple things like maybe using a bit more tabla, or the melodies that we would sing a little bit more geared towards maybe something like a Pakistani melody. But now as we've gotten even older, we started listening. Abu introduced us to Coke Studios maybe back in 2016 or 17. And in 2018, when they reached out to us to join for season 9, it was an immediate yes. It was one of the biggest honors of our entire career. And
to come and perform here on
100.
one of the biggest music platforms, and coming and actually working in Pakistan must have been very emotional.
With some of the most incredible musicians. I mean, their whole team of musicians is incredible. So being a part of that is probably still to this day, we can't surpass that in our career. It's one of the best things we've ever done.
Sohail साहब, लाहौर याद आता है?
बिल्कुल, बहुत याद आता है।
क्या याद आता? सबसे ज़्यादा लाहौर का क्या याद?
लाहौर की स्मेल और विजुअली फूल दरख्त जवानी वहाँ पे टीनेज इयर्स।
आपकी कितनी उम्र थी जब आप गए?
19 साल।
19 साल के?
19 साल के, राइट।
ओके, और लाहौर के खाने याद नहीं आते? How is it possible?
खाना अम्मी के खाने याद आते हैं।
अम्मी के खाने।
उन्होंने बहुत स्पॉइल किया, तो इस वजह से कोई और खाने का मुकाबला नहीं कर सकता।
Exactly.
पर डेफिनेटली लाहौर के खाने।
So, now let's talk about Rawalpindi and Lahore. Tell me about Pindi. How was Pindi?
I'm obsessed with Pindi, old Pindi.
Yeah.
We, and this is part of our upbringing as well, because growing up as kids, Abu is always pointing out different architecture and styles of architecture, old buildings, what era this gate is from and those windows are from. So we have an eye for that. So walking through old Rawalpindi is like, it's sensory overload, seeing just the beautiful structures that are also dilapidated and old. So I love the character of it, and I know that there's some efforts to try to preserve the old history there.
Yeah.
And coming from the US, we don't have that preservation and respect for old, we don't have ancient structures there, sadly.
Exactly.
So that's really, really exciting for us, being around just this ancient civilizations.
And how would you compare Rawalpindi and Lahore? I find a lot of similarities actually in Old Pindi and
what
Old
do you
Lahore.
see as far as similarities?
I think the architecture sometimes and the small streets and the
yeah.
sound and people walking, and Lahore is more alive though, right?
It's hard to not be present, which is why I also, and we've kind of all shared this too, there's a lot of, when I say chaos, I don't mean it as a bad thing, because it's exciting. There's a lot of sensory overload and stimulation. So you can't be in your head thinking about the future or dwelling in the past. You're forced to be in the present, in those moments.
Yeah.
So that's also like, it's such a treat being in a place like that that forces you to focus on what's around you, but also to keep a sense of calm in those environments.
Right. So Yasmine, I recently heard that your tour manager is not very happy with you, both of you, because he had a strict plan for you, what to eat, what not to eat. And you said you are on chutti, you are on leave.
It's really hard to come here and not want to eat everything. Everything that's being served on the table, every chutney, because food is not good without sauce. That's just my personal opinion. The sauce is the best part. So it's really hard for me not to want to eat everything. It's really hard. I can't say no here.
So what has been your favorite food so far?
Besides everything. I tried, what was the roti? The
Makaiki
roti.
roti.
I tried makaiki roti for the first time. And what was the other soft roti I tried yesterday?
Roghani naan.
Roghani naan?
Roghani naan, yeah.
It was so good. Obviously, I love bread, anything bread. And the saag here is unbeatable. We don't have saag like this in America. It's so good. And I also love anything sweet, so the gulab jamun is the best.
Oh,
garam
yes.
gulab jamun.
Garam gulab jamun. Jahan, आपकी उर्दू है, मुझे पता चला है, पुप्पो ने सिखाई है.
Puppo ne sikhai hai?
Puppo has taught you Urdu.
Oh.
है ना?
Puppo or Duolingo or Abu Torisa. Torisa. And I've taken some classes.
Achha, really?
Well, so in Los Angeles, unfortunately, Urdu classes weren't available in person, so I took Hindi classes.
Okay.
So which is close enough.
Which is close enough.
Ji.
No, but why did you need to take Urdu classes? You have a Punjabi tutor at home.
Punjabi is next. After Urdu, I need to master Urdu and then Punjabi.
Then Punjabi, huh?
Pehle Urdu.
Pehle Urdu,
Ji.
phir Punjabi.
Ji.
Great. All right. So, what are the future plans for Krewella? Tell me about what is the dream Krewella has, and it has not been realized yet.
This was the dream.
Yeah.
This was one of the few things that we've talked about for years that we've never done yet. Play in Pakistan, bring Abu with us, and having done that, it seems to have opened up so many things for us. Like, oh, what's next?
Yeah.
It's hard to
That's
even
where
imagine.
we're at, which is an exciting place to be.
It's a bit of a question mark.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Pakistan was a dream for you to come and perform.
Well, it is interesting because not in the beginning. Pakistan wasn't on our radar in the beginning.
Okay.
Because I think when we started, we were a little more detached from our roots and we were more so just focusing on
America.
and just DJing and making electronic music. So we had become almost estranged from our upbringing. And it took years and kind of looking within and reflecting and thinking how we want to move forward to realize like a huge part of us and our foundation, our cultural foundation, is growing up in a fusion household. So the dream was realized, I would say in the middle of our careers when we realized Pakistan needs to be a part of our music career. So that's a cool thing when you realize the dreams keep piling on and they keep evolving.
Interesting.
Yeah.
सोहेल साहब आपके लिए वो मोमेंट ये सारा पूरा मोमेंट कि आपकी बेटियां आई हैं और उस देश में उन्होंने परफॉर्म किया और हज़ारों लोग जो हैं इनके कॉन्सर्ट को एंजॉय कर रहे हैं और इनके टीवी इंटरव्यूज़ और मुझे पता चला यहाँ से एक और जगह भी आपने जाना है और सो ये सारी फीलिंग कैसी है?
I think it's a surreal feeling. उर्दू में इसको आप क्या कहेंगे कि
बिल्कुल ऐसे ख्वाब
सा लगता है exactly.
ख्वाब सा लगता है.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe it. इसके अलावा बहुत जैसे कि मैं जानता हूँ इस सारी सिचुएशन को ना इस तरह की भी फीलिंग है कि नई है बहुत comfortable feeling. So I hope
Emotional भी है feeling.
It definitely emotional. Yes, everything combined. It's like a big masala soup, you know, combination of everything.
मतलब सोहेल साहब की जो एक philosophical answer है उसके अंदर भी मसाला has to be there. So he's from Lahore, so nothing, goes without mentioning anything.
Food metaphor.
Yeah.
We always tell Abu this, but he's so poetic in the way he perceives the world and the way Abu communicates that, and I think that has probably influenced our storytelling and the way we communicate as well.
All right, so Jahan and Yasmine, when I first got introduced to Krewella, I remember my friend Ishad showed me a video clip and he said, look at these girls, they've never been to Pakistan and they are performing maybe in Tokyo or Chicago or wherever, and they have a Pakistani flag on stage. What was that story? Were those the days that you had started thinking about Pakistan? Was there a Pakistani flag or was there a Pakistani t-shirt? I think it was Pakistani.
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Both? So tell me about that. And tell me about the reaction you got when you said that, we have our origins.
I think it's Tomorrowland you wore
a
a Pakistani
Tomorrowland,
shirt.
yeah.
We were
which
trying
is-
to get your attention. That's why.
All right.
We knew it was going to be streamed, and we know it's such an international festival. It's probably.
Tomorrowland is one of the
Have you
biggest
been?
festivals ever.
Have you been to Tomorrowland?
That's on my radar.
Yes.
I have to.
It's
Abu
incredible.
has to also.
Yeah.
I know. So Sohail Saab, you and I, Tomorrowland.
Yes.
next year.
Yes,
Absolutely.
holding up the Pakistani flag
Holding
in
up
the
the
crowd.
Pakistani flag. All right, so tell me about it.
Yeah, it's such a powerful moment being at a festival and seeing a sea of like 30,000 people, however many thousands of people holding up their more, holding up their various flags. So
I think over 100 countries are represented at Tomorrowland. It brings in such an international fan base. And so that flag was from, I think, a fan in the crowd. There was this big group of Desis and they were holding up a bunch of Pakistani flags and one got passed to the front. And I think Jahan grabbed it and held it up. And it's one of those moments that we've had at shows before. We have a lot of Desi fans in the States even. Like we'll play in Houston. There's a big Pakistani crowd in Houston. And there's always a huge group of Pakistanis that come to our Houston shows. And we've held up Pakistani flags there. So it's interesting about representing Pakistan because once you see someone else who's Pakistani, you feel like you claim each other, if that makes sense. You have a bond, and it makes you feel like something so small and underrepresented because people outside of Pakistan barely know anything about Pakistan. So I think it just elevates and it puts things on a pedestal in a way that they have not been before.
All right, so towards the end of the conversation today, I would like you both to maybe, not really a suggestion because that's a very cliched question, but what would you like to say to your Pakistani fans about electronic music? Where is it going? Where do you see the future of Pakistani EDM going? Or what would you want your fans to do? Or not really Krewella fans, but EDM fans, people who create electronic music, who like to listen to electronic music like myself. So what would you like to tell them?
So much.
Right.
So much.
The first thing
We need to have a special episode for
just
that.
for this.
Right.
I do think there's so much to be said about the culture of Pakistan in this whole region because so many elements of this culture, the colors, the flavors, the textures, the sounds, are being widespread throughout the world where people are hearing it and they might not even associate it with Pakistan yet, but it's happening. I mean, there are huge artists that are American who sample Bollywood songs. They'll use tabla and oud, they'll use all the instruments. And so we're hearing it in the music in America and around the world. And I think it's just amazing to know that this comes from this region. And so I would just tell the Pakistani fans that what exists here is so special and it's spreading, and I get chills thinking about it because I feel so honored and lucky to be a part of this culture, and knowing that when we use those sounds and when we tap into our ethnic background, it comes from such a deep place for us, an emotional place for us, and we get to share that with everyone.
So do you use tabla in your...
Absolutely, it's one of our most used instruments, of course, sampled. But I think at the end of the day, being very proud of being Pakistani and being proud of the sound and the culture and everything that it represents.
All right, Jahan.
I would say this is more of, I guess it's less technical and less about the music, but coming full circle because Abu is here today, I would say having the support and stability of people who believe in you helps so much with the pursuit of the path in music. So this is for anyone who's pursuing music or anything in entertainment or the arts, because these are usually career paths or vocations that aren't as, they're not seen as legitimate as other paths, even in the States for an American or Westerner.
True. Yeah.
So it helps so much to just have that belief. So I'd say really surround yourself with people who are going to continue to champion you and encourage you, because you know we're all human beings and there are moments where we don't believe in ourselves or we self-sabotage and we tend to give up or quit or pursue something else, and or be that for someone else, be that support system for someone else to remind them of what they're really meant to be doing with their lives if you see their passion and potential for creating music or acting or performing, whatever it is.
Where do you see Krewella 10 years from now?
Oh, there are endless possibilities. I think we are in a place right now where we're really excited to explore these other creative outlets that haven't been tapped into yet.
Okay, for example?
Well, you'll see. You'll see.
Oh.
Well, yeah, this is the next chapter that we feel like we're embarking on is really exploring and discovering different aspects of ourselves. And I think when we're ready to create whatever's next, it will be after this life experience that we're about to embark on.
Music will always be a part of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so interesting. Jahan and I never plan too far in advance because life is too unpredictable.
Yes.
So 10 years is too far.
10 years is too far.
Rishta, bache, family.
Rishta.
Not on television. We'll talk about this
All
later.
right. Rishta. So is he a typical Pakistani
No.
father?
No.
You have just
Very
used-
atypical.
very atypical. Yeah,
Gee.
that's the impression I had about you.
This is coming from me. This is not influenced
because
by
this
Abu.
word that you have used, Rishta,
I know.
this comes only from a Pakistani parent. है ना?
Right,
लड़का,
right.
लड़का ढूंढना है.
This is my own influence.
Okay.
Abu's hands off.
Abu is helping and supporting.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes. And that's what every daughter needs.
I know.
Yeah.
जितना मैं Sohail Yousaf साहब को समझा हूँ, he will be the last person on earth to impose any
Exactly.
decision. शादी तो बहुत बड़ा decision होता है. Any
Right.
decision on his children, daughters, whatever, बच्चे जो भी आपके होते हैं. ये कभी भी नहीं कहेंगे. ये तो ये भी नहीं कहते होंगे कि आज भिंडी खाओ या आज रोटी खाओ या क्या ना. इन्हें full freedom दी.
But he still gives the best advice and best support.
Yes.
So even though it's not imposing, he's always there.
And philosophical guidance.
I can't add anything else to
है
that.
ना? And you're actually fishing for more compliments, by the way. Sohail साहब बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. I'm so proud of the fact कि आपने अपनी बेटियों की तरबियत इतनी ज़बरदस्त की है और इन्होंने अपने ड्रीम्स रीच आउट किए हैं. दे आर माशाल्लाह इंटरनेशनल स्टार्स और पाकिस्तान में जिस तरह लोग इनसे प्यार करते हैं आपने खुद भी देखा. It was very, very emotional. It was such a beautiful moment for me as well.
Shukriya.
So thank you for being on our show.
बहुत शुक्रिया.
Yasmine, Jahan, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. Okay, now control room has a request for you. They say, tell her to say something in Urdu in the end.
Oh gosh. Let's see. Pakistan मेरी दिल में है. Did I get the grammar
Yes,
right?
correct. Pakistan
Okay.
मेरे दिल में है.
जी. और
Very good.
और
खाना. Oh, पाकिस्तान खाना में है.
मेरा दिल.
I was going to say in the entire world, in the entire world, the Pakistani food is the best.
Okay, so
Help me.
let's do it together.
मुझे मदद
मुझे मदद चाहिए.
मदद चाहिए.
आपको मुझे मदद चाहिए उर्दू में. Okay.
मदद चाहिए.
पाकिस्तानी खाना पूरी दुनिया में सबसे अच्छा है.
I like the way you
Yeah.
performed it too.
Exactly.
मैं सीख रही हूँ.
Oh yes.
मैं उर्दू सीख रही हूँ.
बिल्कुल ठीक. I can give you online Zoom classes.
Wonderful. Done. Plan बन गया है.
Plan बन गया है. उर्दू आ गई है.
If you put me on the spot, I can't do it.
Thank you very much, Jahan and Yasmine and Sohail. All the best.
Shukriya.
And I think this should not be your first and the last performance
It
in
won't be.
Pakistan. Keep coming, keep performing, keep using tabla and other instruments in your music.
Always.
On behalf of Pakistan Television and Rising Pakistan, thank you indeed.
बहुत
बहुत
शुक्रिया.
शुक्रिया.
बहुत शुक्रिया.
आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. आपने आज राइजिंग पाकिस्तान की ये खुसूसी नशिस्त एंजॉय की. सोहेल यूसुफ साहब और उनकी दोनों बेटियां जहान और यास्मीन जो कि क्रुएला बैंड बनाती हैं. आज हमने उनको फीचर किया. आपको इनकी बातें कैसी लगी? क्रुएला के हवाले से आप कुछ बात कोई पूछना चाहें, इनकी बातों के हवाले से कुछ ऐड करना चाहें तो हमारा व्हाट्सएप नंबर और हमारे सोशल्स पे हमें ज़रूर याद कीजिएगा. खुश रहें, ज़िंदगी रही. फिर मिलेंगे. खुदा हाफिज़.